Hey, Geometry for Teacher students. What I want to do in this video is create a stem and leaf plot for this one variable data set. You might think of this as a set of exam scores, and what we're going to do is find a way to display those exam scores graphically. Now, when you're doing a stem and leaf plot, in this case, you have to decide, well, what your stem and leaf are. In this case, the stem I'm going to use is the tens place, and the leaf going to be the ones place. For different sets of data, you'll make this choice differently. And I'll just note that my stems, the tens place, go from 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are my stems. I'm going to draw a line, and now I'm going to draw the leaves. So for example, this 15 has a leaf of 5, so I'm going to put the 5 there. That's the only leaf that goes with that stem. With 2s, I've got a 1, 2, and 8. So I'm putting those numbers out. For the 3, I've got a 2, 3, 3, 5, 7, 8, 8, 8. And with 4s, I have a 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. So you can see I got those leaves from looking at the ones place for everything that starts with a 4. That's a stem and leaf plot. The great thing about this is it kind of shows graphically what's going on. There were lots of scores in the 30s. Let's assume this was a 50-point exam. So we're trying to see, oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. And a lot of scores in the 40s, but not so much in the teens and the 20s. Now, there's another way that we can do this where we can go with split stems. And the way I do this is I think about, let's say, taking every stem and going with a low and a high. So, for example, I'll just write this out first. One low and one high. For here, we would use the numbers 0 through 4. And for here, we would put the numbers 5 through 9. It's another way of splitting up the data. So for example, let's do it with this data set. And this way, I'm going to have 8 stems. Okay, and the way this works is that that 5 over here is going to go with 1 high. The 1 and the 2 are going to go with 2 low. The 8 is going to go with 2 high. We're just going to keep on following that pattern. So with 3 low, I've got 2, 3, 3, 5. And with 3 high, I've got 7, 8, 8, 8. There is nothing with 4 low. And then I have 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. By the way, what I try and do is I try and make sure that all my numbers line up. So here's a list of 4, here's a list of 4, that goes out to 4 there. Why do I like something like this? Well, it gives me a little bit more information than the stem and leaf plot on the left. You can see here that we've got a gap. So nobody scored in the low 40s. So you can see there must have been perhaps some problem that these students did well and everybody else did poorly on, and that's why we had a gap. It also kind of shows you where the bulk of the scores are. So when we look at it this way, we see the bulk of the scores in the 30s. We still see a lot in the 30s, but when we're looking at the split stems, we also see a lot in the high 40s. So it's just a different way of analyzing the data. One of the benefits of using a stem and leaf plot is we can always see all the scores. So we haven't replaced these numbers with bars. We can always see every single score that was there. But that also means it's not a good choice if you've got a huge data set. So I had a small set of numbers here. If I had 100, 200 numbers, there's no way I'd go through this process. It'd be way too complicated. All right, that's an introduction to stem and leaf plots.